How you doing? Hey, this is new, but it's going to be good for you. And I call it Alistair. Listen and then go for it. What it's about? It's my life. People have always told me that I am lucky because I've done so many different things, both around the world and home or in this country. And I've always had the same answer. I've said, look, when other people were just talking about wanting to do something, I just went ahead, took the first step, and did it. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't, but my life has been full because of that theory, that thought. I'm going to throw a few things at you so you understand where I'm coming from. I don't have any recollection of my childhood at all until 7 years old, and that was on New Year's Eve a long, long time ago. And my mom used to live above a restaurant, and she was a waiter downstairs. And we were poor, and we basically we were in our bedroom as children, and hey, I didn't say this was an English lesson. I'm just talking here, okay? And people would say, well, why come you don't remember anything? And I'd say, because this is the first time. That's my fur kid. You're going to hear that from time to time on the videos, because basically I got a fur kid. If you don't know what a fur kid is, that's a dog or a cat that you treat as family because, well, they are. And I believe that 100%. Like a lot of other things you're going to figure out that I believe about philosophy and life in general. Um, but at 7 years old, I went to check on my dad to tell him that Happy New Year's, and he wouldn't. He was sitting in a chair in the living room. Television was on, and he wouldn't say anything to me. So I ran downstairs at 7, and I got a hold of Mom, and I said, Mom, I said, Dad won't talk to me. And she said, what are you talking about? And I said, well, I have a brother, two brothers actually, and I have an adopted brother, cool guy, great guy, and I have a sister. And at that time, the two brothers and the sister and me, we all were trying to get Dad to recognize that it was New Year's Eve. And Mom said, well, I'll be right up. So she must have said something to somebody, because they come up with not just her, but some other people from downstairs in the restaurant. And I mean, I'll never forget this. Is when my world of memory started. Is that somebody said to me, "Go in your bedroom," and somebody was yelling, and I found out it was my mom. My dad had passed away a few minutes before New Year's that night. Uh, and that's when my recollection of my childhood started. I don't remember anything before then. I know people say, "Well, I remember being in my mom's body." I remember when I picked up my bottle for the first time, or when Mom would change my diapers or whatever, or Dad smiled at me. I don't have any recollection of anything until that night, and then everything from my life started then. Um, I went to Vietnam. Got a bunch of medals, cool, all those medals, and $1.25 will get you a cup of coffee now. Um, I I was told I wouldn't walk twice, but I did. That's one of the videos that you'll see why. I was told that I had a severe head injury, and that I wouldn't be able to work, and wouldn't be able to do nothing. And I just literally, probably at this point, would, be stay home and do nothing. And I went on to become an executive in a Fortune 500 company and do amazing things for myself and people around me. And that head injury has been a blessing, because I can do things that other people can't do. I learned to play musical instruments and very quickly, and with a couple of lessons, and then just go for it, which you're going to hear a lot. Go for it. Don't say you can't do it. Don't say that somebody told you can't do it. It's your life. And that's going to be another video but I'll just explain to you what that means. I had somebody very, very precious to me for 26 years that said to me, this is not a dress rehearsal. This is the only life you're going to get. And I've decided I want to live it my way, meaning her. And then she left. And that was a big change in my life. There'll be a video on that. Then I went on to write a lot of music, record a lot of music. I play in a rock band now. And yeah, I'm a lot older than you think I am, and I play in a rock band. And I just played last night. In fact, it was a great crowd. We had a blast. I started playing drums at a very young age. Yeah, the young age of 19 after I got out of Vietnam. Only because I was singing and the drummer refused to show up, but his kit was there, and somebody said, hey, we need a drummer, we can't get one. I said, I'll do it, and I'd never played any drums at all. The only thing I played was in school with rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat, paradiddles and, and that kind of stuff. And so I sat down, we played the whole gig that night, and from that point forward, I was a drummer, and I ended up playing for the next 7 years, and then I toured after that with a band called Razorback. That's another video. Had a blast, lived the rock and roll world life. I had a lot of fun. And then I went on to record with a heavy metal band, and then some country bands, and remember, I hadn't had no official lessons here at all. I just went for it. Funny thing, I did the same thing after I stopped playing drums because I was injured. I couldn't do it anymore, and that's another video. I've been injured multiple times. I've broken a lot of bones in my body, and a lot of people have said, you ought to just stop. You know what I mean? And I don't. I just keep going. I was big into boating, and that's another video. I love boats. At that time I did. And the other thing, most important thing, I think, I joined martial arts about the age of 29 or 30 because I was injured in an auto accident, and I couldn't walk. And somebody said, come on down, watch me and do my karate class. And I'd already been laid up and in a hospital bed for almost a year and a half. And I said, sure, all right, I will. Well, actually, I give credit to my wife for that, my wife at the time, because I call her the first wife. Because I've had two wives that are both great. And I had a girlfriend in between two wives, and she was great, but that's another video and story. And then basically I said, yeah, I'll go down, and I went down, and I watched what they were doing, and the instructor come over, and he said, well, how come you're not doing it? And I said, yeah, right, I can't even stand up. I came in here, it took me 10 minutes to get in here with a cane, and I'm supposed to do that. And he took my cane. Now I'm stuck in the bleachers, sitting there, can't get up, can't move, can't walk, because I was mentally told by doctors that I had to use this cane. And I believed it. And when he came back with the cane, he said, you want this cane? I said, yeah. And he said, well, why don't you walk? And I said, because I can't move this leg. I can't move it. And I was getting kind of upset. And remember, I'm an adult at that point, but now the whole class is watching me. And I said, give me that cane. And he said, if you want the cane, then do something. And I kicked him as hard as I could with the leg that won't move into his ankle. When he jumped back, he said, I thought you said you couldn't use that leg. Well, I was in shock. And so I joined karate. And 5 years later, I not only got my black belt, I stood up in my own school. And for the next 27 years, I owned 5 schools, and I was the headmaster instructor, and I was issued my own self-defense and martial arts system by 5 different managers. And it's so funny, isn't it? It just, I went for it. And you can too. And that's what I want to drill into people. I don't care where your life is now. I don't care what it is or who the people were. I said it's not an English lesson. I do that a lot. It's a head injury. If you're a nurse, you already know why. But here's the cool thing. I call it Lester speak. because of Alester speak. Um, Alester is a term that I used to record one of my CDs. I named it Alester um, because one day I saw when I was younger, I saw this real cool band, and they were called Alester. With, instead of the E, it had a star, Alistar. So I thought, hey, how about Alistair? And I had many years later, I had remembered it, and I recorded the CD, and I named it that. It went on to MP3 status, and I had a lot of fun with it. And some people stole the songs and play them, and that's good. But now I've written 100 more songs, so it doesn't matter to me. Um, and again, let's get back to that a second. Like I said, my head has allowed me to play guitar and lead guitar and keyboard and bass, and so now I play whatever it is the band needs that night. And we've been together a long time, so I mean, this isn't no fluke. We play more than most people in regards to the bars and weddings and stuff, and I love it because it's my life. And people, now you're going to say, well, what about your second wife? Well, that's another video, and then I'll get into all of that. But I told you I was an executive, and I made a decision. I quit. I retired to take care of my wife who had cancer, and I did, and that's another video. And so I hope that you understand that I'm going to do this twice a week. I'm going to start at 7 years old. I'm going to get up to where I am now, and there's going to be a lot of amazing things that I'm going to tell you that I've done, that I've accomplished, that, and I'm not blowing my own horn here. A lot of people have said for years, write a book, because nobody believes, how could you possibly have done all of this stuff? And I'll leave you with, I worked for a Procter and Gamble, and one time the supervisor there, a big deal, he in the company, he said, well, I don't believe any of this stuff you tell me. There's too much stuff you've done, and how's that all possible? And so I came home, and I got my picture with Mr. Master Bill Superfoot Wallace, and my black belt, and my certificate of masterhood, and my pictures of my karate schools and all the students, and I got pictures of all my boats, and a picture of my jacket with the medals, and then pictures of me in Vietnam, and all the cars that I've owned. That's another video. I've owned 62 cars since I was 16. Sometimes I bought and sold a car in the same day, just because my girlfriend at the time, it turned out to be my first wife, she ended up wanting to ride in a convertible for the weekend, and that's what I would do. And yeah, I love cars, but I'm not doing that anymore. That's another video. And all the other things that I've ever done, and whatever I had that I could show him, put it all in the box, took it in the next day, walked in his office, and dumped it all right on his desk. And within about 10 minutes, he found me in the plant, and he apologized and said, I don't understand it, because basically other people just don't do this. I mean, they sit on their ass they sit on their ass, see? On the couch, and they watch TV. Well, that's another video, because instead of telling yourself that you can't wait for the day to end so you can go home, tell yourself that you can't wait for the day at work to end so you can do this other project that you wanted to accomplish and finish. Sometimes it might be sports that you want to do, fishing you want to do, boating you want to do, music. But you don't tell yourself you can't wait just for the day to end, because you know what? The day just ended. So I'm going to leave you with a thought. What the mind can conceive and believe, the mind will achieve. And you will see the results. So, until the next video, Alester, listen to and go for it. Thank you.